Welcome back to the channel, folks, and welcome to one of my favourite venues. This is the Glebe Fishery, a beautiful venue and rammed full of fish like this beauty. And there's loads of carp in these lakes, and they're all these distinctive. See if we can hold him up. He's still a little bit angry. This distinctive, sort of fully scaled strain of fish. Beautiful fish. Like I say, there's plenty of these in these lakes. And what I'd like to do is just run you through a tactic that I think is going to catch you guys loads of fish from this time of year moving forward. It's a bomb approach, a straight lead approach with a bit of a difference. Now, I know, you know, we've done it all before. That semi-fixed, heavy lead, we're talking 30 grams, short hook length, 8 inches, 12 inches of hook length. Those sort of setups are brilliant when the fish are feeding, they're snuffling on the bottom, picking up that loose feed. The fish are going to hook themselves against that heavier lead. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to work fantastic. My issue comes, though, when we've got slightly trickier venues. Maybe the rules, as today, stipulate we have to use longer hook lengths. And I don't want to be crashing in a 30 gram or an ounce lead on top of those fish constantly throughout the day. We've got a beautiful corner peg here today. Now, we all know that corners hold fish, but we also know that if I was to cast a heavy lead in along this corner, I'd quite quickly push those fish out into the middle of the lake and they probably wouldn't come back. What I want to do is I want to fish a nice stealthy approach. And this little setup that we've got today ticks all of those boxes. So let me run through the rig. We're going to start with the business end. This little lead, it's actually come out of my lure bag. It's a lure lead. Is 5 grams. Now, I've used 5 grams because the wind's got up, but I started on 3 grams and 3 grams was beautiful, but it makes the tiniest plop into the water as possible. It's literally almost the same sound as the pellets that I'm feeding today. It's nothing. And I know that those fish are so tuned in to noise on the surface that anything too loud, they're going to spook away from it. I've got a little loop of line there that's about 3 inches long, just so there's a bit of movement on the rig. Now today we have to use a 20-inch hook length. That's the rules of this venue. Now 20 inches, if I was to use a heavier lead, it's probably not going to quite work with that bolt effect. So instead of fighting that rule, instead of trying to create something that is going to be difficult to replicate, I'm going to struggle to replicate that bolt effect. I'm actually trying to go in the other way. I'm going totally opposite. I'm going to create as free a rig as possible. So that's why I've got a little paternoster. I also know that if a fish does pick up that bait and feels that lead, it's going to have a little bit more difficulty swinging that lead around and ejecting the hook out of its mouth because it's got that extra swing there. If that lead was direct on the line, you get those little sharp taps on your quiver tip, which you know, fish has picked up the bait, shook his head once, and he's managed to get rid of the bait. With that little bit of extra swing there, I'm hopefully negating that. Now, below that, I've got a single number 9 slot shot, and that sits above a 6-inch twizzled loop. Now, that twizzled loop serves a really good purpose. That's pushing, helping to separate my hook bait away from my lead. Now, it's only a little bit of twizzle, but I know that that's just stiff enough to just push everything away. Help me get that hook length a bit straighter, help me get that hook length as far away from that lead as possible. The fact that that lead's so light, it's going to swing back in an arc towards me anyway, so we're going to create that effect. We're going to create that nice arc. We're going to get our hook bait behind our lead as it lands in the water. This is all about creating a tight line. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. Create a tight line between my quiver tip and my hook bait rather than the quiver tip and my lead. The bottom of that loop, we've attached our hook length. You can see quite a long hook length. That's 0.14. We've got small hook today. Small hook for me anyway. That's a size 18. We've got a bait band there, and that bait band is quite close to the shank of the hook. Now, it's totally opposite to what I would be doing maybe in the summer months when, like I say, those fish are hard on the bottom, they're eating bait. I'm fishing as close to free lining as possible. I know that I'm going to get more bites doing this. Whether I hook as many fish, you know, my hook up percentage isn't going to be as good. I've just got to accept that. But I think I'm going to get more bites and I'm going to spook less fish doing this. In the summer months, I'd probably use a shorter hook length, heavier lead, a lot bigger hook. All I'm trying to do is get those fish to hook themselves. Today is about reading my quiver tip. I've got a really nice, short, soft rod. The quiver tip is like, you breathe on it and it moves, so I can see every indication. And the bites have literally been either little taps and the head shake. You could just see the fish's head shaking on the quiver tip because the lead is so light. You know, you're not seeing that. You can't get your tip tight enough. You're seeing those little head shakes, and then occasionally, yeah, it tears off as it hooks itself against the quiver tip. But this, for me, is the polar opposite of that big, heavy bolt rig effect that we've sort of derived from carp anglers. You know, we're going really back in time, old school match fishing. Now, just to give you a bit of background on what we're doing today, I'm loose feeding today. We're just getting to that time of year where we can loose feed a little bit of bait. And that doesn't mean we still don't have to search the swim. I've got this lovely sweeping corner to my left. Yeah, I've caught the odd fish there, but you know what? Where I've fed some bait further out to my right into the lake, that's been a really good swim. So literally 6mm pellet in the band. We'll plop it out. Got 4-pound main line on, which is helping to zoom that little weight out there. Got to be really careful as we tighten up. Just want everything to be straight. And then just over the top, we're feeding 4 or 5 pellets. Do that two times. And then setting the tip is important. I just want the tip to be nicely set so the rig is tight. You could probably get away with fishing nice slack lines with a heavier lead, but for this sort of setup, you need your tip tight. And that, for me, is fishing. I'm going to see if I catch another carp. No doubt this will go round in a few minutes. Please think about subscribing. That way you won't miss any more fishing videos. And until next time, folks, tight lines.